Most buyers assume their realtor understands financing. And some do, but most don't. And they shouldn't. Just like we as lenders, we need to stay in our lane as well. And that's not an insult. It's just really how the industry is structured. Real estate agents, very, very good at property negotiation and contracts. They are not experts in mortgage risk, loan structure, or capital markets. But buyers often assume they are. Admittedly, there's more trust between realtors and buyers. They get to view properties together, they get to go to lunch, build rapport. Lenders typically are the bad guy. We always have high rates, we always have high fees, we always have so much documentation. Why do you need that? That assumption can cause problems because financing is not a side detail in a real estate transaction. It's typically the foundation of the entire deal. If the financing fails, nothing else matters. Here's the first thing most buyers don't realize. Your realtor does not choose your lender for you. You ultimately do. Yes, absolutely, we all want to work with recommended sources, but what you need to do is interview a few lenders, see who you vibe with, and then cross-check their rates and fees. I once worked with a buyer that said, hey, ultimately, I'm dealing with you for 30 to 45 days, so having the lowest rate and best fees is the most important thing. Nothing wrong with that if you're getting a 30-year fixed rate and you intend to live there forever. The choice impacts you far more than your interest rate does. It affects how strong your offer looks, how smooth the transaction is, how likely the deal is to close on time. Does the lender have an established relationship with the other side? Most solid lenders do. We pick up the phone, we'll call the other side, we'll say, hey, what's up? It's been a while. It's most likely the people we work with regularly. They trust us, and that goes a long way. A weak lender can kill a strong deal. Even when the buyer's fully qualified, buyers often believe that once they're pre-approved, they're good to go, which is not always true. There's a big difference between a pre-qualification, a basic pre-approval, and a fully underwritten approval. Most sellers and agents understand that difference. That's why in a competitive market, the leader behind the buyer matters most, as much as the offer does itself. A clean approval backed by a strong lender suggests certainty. A vague letter by an unknown lender suggests risk. And sellers avoid that. Another thing is, not all lenders approach deals the same way. Some lenders are volume-driven, some are rate-driven, some are deal-driven. Volume-driven lenders want speed and scale. They're fast. Rate-driven lenders want the lowest number headline. Process-driven lenders want simplicity. And then deal-driven lenders want the transaction to close. The difference shows up under pressure because real estate transactions always involve pressure every time. Appraisals come in low, documents get questioned, guidelines change, timelines tighten. This is where the difference between an inexperienced or an overextended lender tend to struggle. They quote aggressively up front, then scramble when complexity shows up. That's when buyers hear things like, here's my crappy lender impression. Oh, we didn't realize that was an issue. We need more documentation. Oh, we may need an extension. Well, extensions cost money. They create a lot of stress, especially when you've got a U-Haul parked up front. This is why realtors often develop preferred lender lists, not because of kickbacks, but because they've seen what happens when when financing fails. Good agents want deals to close cleanly. They know which lenders communicate, which lenders underwrite properly, which lenders don't overpromise. But here's the part that buyers don't hear. Just because a lender is on a preferred list doesn't mean they're right for you. It means they're reliable for the agent. Those are not the same thing. The best lender for a deal and the best lender for a borrower aren't always identical. That's where borrowers need to think critically. You should ask your lender questions most people never ask, like, hey, how often do your deals need extensions? Do you regularly close on time? How do you handle appraisal issues? Tell me more about the conditions that you typically see. How do you communicate with the agents? Those answers, they all matter. Because when something goes wrong, and something always goes wrong, another thing buyers misunderstand is the role of speed. In this industry, speed does matter. But speed without accuracy can be very dangerous. Some lenders rush approvals to look competitive. They issue letters without fully reviewing income and assets, and man, do I see that a lot. That feels good up front. It feels fast until it isn't. When underwriters dig in later and uncover issues, buyers feel blindsided. Not because the rules changed, but because they were never properly reviewed in the first place. Good lenders slow things down early and then speed them up later. They often ask hard questions up front. They dig into details. They flag risk early. That's uncomfortable for buyers. We don't want that, but it prevents disasters. Here's another truth. Your realtor's job is to get the deal accepted. Your lender's job is to get the deal closed. Those are different objectives. A great team respects both. Problems happen, and buyers assume one professional covers everything, and they don't. Financing is its own discipline. Another misconception buyers have is assuming the cheapest lender is the best lender. Cheap, it often means thin margins. Thin margins means less flexibility. When problems arise, flexibility matters. A lender with no room to maneuver can't solve issues creatively. Got it? They are bound by rigid rules and volume pressure. A lender with experience and margin can. The difference can be the difference between closing and losing the deal. Right now, markets are rewarding certainty. Sellers are cautious. Timelines matter. Contingencies are scrutinized. Buyers backed by a strong lender do have an advantage. They win negotiations. They get the concessions. They close on time. Buyers backed by weak lenders lose leverage. Even if their offer is strong on paper, this is why financing is not something you shop last for. It's something you structure first. And I think any realtor would agree. You don't pick a house and then hope the financing works. You build financing clarity so that when the house appears, you're ready to go. Buyers who understand their financing walk into negotiations calm. Buyers who don't feel anxious and reactive tend to be a little bit more in control. Reactive buyers overpay or hesitate. Another thing realtors won't say this out loud is that they can only move as fast as the lender allows. A slow or unresponsive lender slows the entire transaction. That creates a lot of tension between agents, sellers, buyers, escrow. No one wins in this scenario. This is why communication matters as much as rate. A lender who explains updates and anticipates problem protects the deal. A lender who hides behind the email and quotes numbers does not. Here's the bottom line. Your realtor is not your mortgage advisor. Your lender should be. When those roles are clear, transactions tend to run smoother. When they're blurred, buyers get confused. The best outcomes happen when the realtor focuses on the property and negotiation, the lender focuses on structure risk and execution. And the buyer needs to understand both. That combination builds confidence, and confidence wins deals. This is why choosing the right lender matters more than most buyers realize. Not because of rate, not because of branding, but because when pressure shows up, and it always does, experience matters. And deals don't fail on paper, they fail in execution. That's the difference between closing and starting over.